Welcome to another episode of Grumpy Old Man on a Bike, or as other people know it, Steve Talks Rubbish. And I'm out today on the Blue Revolt, and I'm off today out to Manhattan. Had a couple of days off, so hopefully the legs have recovered enough and I shouldn't struggle too much going uphill. There was a case in the paper today. A man is in court because he was driving his van, stopped and punched a cyclist in the face. And why did he do it? Purely and simply because the cyclist was there. Because in his opinion, the cyclist shouldn't be on the road. See, the van driver thinks that because he doesn't like cyclists, they shouldn't be allowed. Simple as that. Doesn't matter about the law. He thinks the law should be whatever his opinion is. There's a group of climate protesters who don't think motor vehicles should be allowed on the road. But you can be pretty sure that Mr. Van Man thinks that they shouldn't have an opinion. And why is that? Because their opinion is different from his. And that's the strange world we live in. Not quite sure how we got there. But that's how we get people like Donald Trump in the White House. And Nigel Farage. People who believe that the law should be changed to whatever they want it to be. And the hypocrisy is quite amusing. If Nigel Farage makes a remark about a racist remark or a sexist remark, he just says free speech. People shouldn't be cancelled. Free speech. And then when somebody says something about him that he doesn't like, he sues them. Because what people like him mean by free speech is people should be free to say the things I agree with and nothing else. And that's what Donald Trump believes. People are free to have the same opinion as me. Now, what was really sad was the comments on this news report. People saying, he should have been given a medal. I mean, think about that. He should be given a medal for a brutal assault on somebody just going about their daily life. So the man who thinks the van driver should get a medal, let's assume, I don't know, off the top of my head, somebody from Alcoholics Anonymous went into the pub where he was drinking beer and smacked him in the mouth. Would that person deserve a medal? Ah, no, well that's different, you see. Because drinking beer is an activity he likes. I've mentioned it before. This is the age of the self, where what I want to do should be the only thing people are allowed to do, and what I don't want to do should be banned. But the irony is, the people will tell you that roads are made for cars. And then in the next sentence they'll say, cyclists are so entitled. What? Roads are made for cars, but it's the cyclists who are entitled? And here's another one. Drive straight at me because, hey, road is made for him, not me. Another one that always makes me laugh. There's the people who say cyclists should be fined if they don't use the cycle path. So basically, they just make up their own law. And then you ask them, should car drivers be fined for not using a motorway if there's one available? And then, of course not, no. And then it comes back to the same thing, yeah, but roads are made for cars. And of course there's always the thing about cyclists don't pay to use the road. I wasn't expecting that much flooding. Here's the thing. Road tax doesn't exist. Roads are paid for out of general taxation. Not to mention the fact that most cyclists have a car as well. So yes, cyclists do pay for the road. And even if vehicle excise duty did contribute to the road infrastructure, there are several categories of car: classic cars, electric cars, low emissions cars, that also don't pay road tax, or vehicle excise duty I should say. So I wonder if these petrol heads think that they should be allowed on the road. And usually it's best not to get involved, you know. But every now and then I can't resist, because there was a comment somebody said how much he has to pay to be on the road. He spent £25,000 on his car, £30,000 on his van, £1,500 for his insurance policy, plus whatever vehicle excise duty there was, and one thing and another. I pay plenty. And usually I don't get involved, but every now and then I can't resist it. So I just made a comment. I said, sounds like motoring is costing you an awful lot of money. Have you thought about getting a bike? Well, that didn't go down well. And of course then the self-righteous come out. What do you mean get a bike? I shoulder the entire economy of the country by going to work. I haven't got time to ride a bike. Sure. So I then commented and I said, well, in that case, it looks like you're going to have to keep paying the man. But why do you feel aggrieved about people that don't have to? And that's what it comes down to, really. I mean, let's be honest, Mr. Van Man, nothing's going to change in his life. If cyclists paid road tax, it'd just make him feel better, because they weren't getting away with something that he couldn't get away with. And then there's the ones who want cyclists to have number plates. Again, another complete lunacy. But they come up with this one all the time because, you know, I stand at a set of traffic lights, and every time the light turns to red, 5 or 6 cars go through. But yet we have this thing of cyclists go through red lights, and maybe they do. Most of the time they don't. I mean, why would you? It's dangerous. But sometimes you do, because some of them are triggered by traffic and so on, and the way to a bike doesn't trigger them, and things like that. And far more car drivers go through red lights, but even if they did have number plates, how would it change the life of the people sitting in their cars? It's simple. It wouldn't. In fact, it would probably cost them a bit more money. I've mentioned this before. In the early 70s, in South Africa, they had this idea of a vehicle license, or effectively a tax. So you had to get this little metal disc. I forget what it cost you, R1 or something for a year. And then you had to attach it somehow to your bike with a number on it. And that showed that you paid your R1. And they scrapped it. Because it turns out it costs more to administer the system than the revenue that they get in from it. So all that would happen is car drivers would end up paying a little bit more on their tax to administer the system. But hey, they don't care about that, because all they care about is somebody is not getting away with something that I can't get away with. And that's what it's all about. Why should somebody have something that I haven't got? But here's the thing, all you moaning car drivers, you are as entitled as anybody else to go and buy a bike and ride it on the road. It's not a privilege for a chosen few. It's available to anyone. And as usual, if you found my ramblings of interest, like and subscribe.